Hey guys, what's up? My name is Scarlett and I'm going to do a Naija tutorial today. So for those of you who don't have Naija, she takes 50 bandages to unlock. I'm just going to go over to her in the character select screen. You might see this shaded out. So it's 50 bandages to unlock her and this is what she does. So first thing is with Naija, you do not want to hold sprint. On the ground, same speed. And when you're in the air, it does this, which is the hover. That can be useful for 1 or 2 no debt runs, but in terms of speed running, it's completely worthless. It's just too slow. Now, the other thing that she can do is a dash, which looks something like this. To do this, you hold, well, you don't hold, you press jump and then you press sprint. So it looks like that. So it might seem like it's not particularly useful at first. The important thing to notice is that it resets anytime you hit a wall, floor, or ceiling, anything. So you can literally come in here and go bang, 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 and fail. But the idea is the same. Oh dear God. Glitchy ceilings are annoying. Now I'm going to mention these glitchy ceilings. So, especially in Soul Factory, but there's a few places in the game where you can kind of get caught when you try to speed fast. So you can see there, the ceiling just catches me and throws me back. And they're very annoying to work around, but you just have to deal with it. It's one of the glitches in the game that never got fixed. So that's dashing. You can just jump and sprint, and it resets every time you hit a wall. So you jump and sprint again, and you keep repeating, and you can get awesome times for levels. It's important to note as well that you can turn. So if I point, we'll say left first of all, and dash, and then about 2 or 3 frames into it, I turn right, I get this effect, which is a turn. Now you can get it quite tight, and you can get it quite far in. I'm failing at this. That's about how late you can turn, and you can use that to navigate around things. So say there was a saw at the top of this thing, I could go for a loop around. There's not a saw, but now in terms of actually doing things, there's 2 ways to do this. Now when you learn, you probably want to start taking a little jump in between because the timing might seem tight. But when you go for speed running with Naija, you want to press dash before you press jump. That way, because I'll demonstrate now, nothing happens when I press dash. When I release it, well, you do the hover. But when I release it, you shoot forward. So by pressing dash before the thing, that's not what I meant to do. By pressing dash before the thing, you do it, and you can link them up fairly well. Now there's one technique which I accidentally just did, and that is the Superdash, which really is an advanced technique for Naija. So the idea with the Superdash is that within 1 or 2 frames of jumping, you release dash. Similar to Meat Boy's wall slide. If you jump at a wall, you can slide up by pressing jump within 1 or 2 frames. Actually, a lot of characters can pull that, but the Superdash, slightly different. You need to release dash within 1 or 2 frames of jumping. The timing is quite tight. Now here's the difference it makes. If I dash at this wall normally, I hit it. I'm not getting over that. My thing is lagging slightly, so hopefully this won't interfere. I don't get over. But if I super dash, I'm right over. It goes higher. So that's super dashing. It's quite hard to pull off, so I'm going to go through a little training thing for it. Right, so I just finished recording this section of the video for the 2nd time without pressing record, so that's impressive. But I'm going to go through super dashing, a little training exercise you can do. So there's a couple of levels you can use. You can use 1-5-3-1 like I just demonstrated, has that ledge, and 1-3 has this. Now if I sprint, if I dash even, right at the edge, I can hit those corners, but otherwise I can't hit the upper ledge at all. Now if I super dash, not like that, like that, I can reach the upper ones easy. So it's a good indicator of when you're doing it. Now, the idea is this. If you dash, normally, you have just released dash at a point where you were more than 2 frames off the ground. You're too late. You need to do it earlier. And I found that I was doing it. It didn't make sense how early I was going, but it worked. So I eventually stuck with it. I mean, like, it just seemed crazy how early I was releasing dash, but it was actually what was necessary. Now, if you're jumping and not dashing, you've just released dash before you even left the ground. And it actually does happen when you try to pull the timing this tight. It might seem crazy, but sometimes you will just jump. So if that happens, you need to release the tiniest bit later, and it's about finding the sweet spot in the middle. So it takes a bit of practice, but you get used to it. Now, something I should have mentioned earlier is that you can see from the colors when dash is reset. So do you see the way, as soon as I touch the wall, I turn blue again? That's the dash resetting. And you'll know there's the odd place in the game where it's kind of dodgy. You can clip it and it still doesn't reset you. They kind of interfere with speed runs. It becomes a matter of luck, but they are there. They're very rare. I wouldn't worry about it. But I just said I'd mention them. Now I'm going to do 1 or 2 levels and then... Hey guys, so I said I'd run 1 or 2 levels, and this is one where Naija really shows off. This is 4-2 and I just failed badly, but this is 4-2. Now, I wanted to demonstrate something that I forgot to mention earlier. I said that as soon as you hit a wall, the dash resets. It's not exactly true. If I dash here, that wall lift just knocked me. If I dash right at the edge here, I'm too late. There's a cooldown on it, so you need to leave enough distance between you and the wall so that it resets like that. So the idea is that if I'm right next to a wall here, it doesn't reset. Now, I can't. I'm trying to think of a way to demonstrate other than this point, and I really can't. So when I'm right at the edge here, there's kind of a length of time where you're in that orange state where you can't actually turn back to the blue, so your dash can't reset. And if you happen to just, we'll say, run off this edge and then go for dash, I hit the ceiling there, but my dash doesn't reset because it's too short. Whereas if I dash from here, I can make it the whole way. And that's literally, you want to plan your routes. Sometimes there's spaces. If I take one of the best examples is in the dark world here. So you want to plan your routes so that you're pretty much always dashing. There's very few exceptions. 4 or 10, by the way, I should have mentioned this earlier, is the one place in the game where hovering can be practical when you're speed running. 410, 410X, they're the only two. So if I go for this level and I try to use Naija, now you will notice if I hit, you see the way I hit this here? I hit that wall, I don't reset the dash, I'm still off dash. So you need to plan for the second walls. And that's how it's done there. So again, I'm hitting them along the way and it makes this level quite hard to speedrun. I've got a time on it, I'm not going to pull it off live, so that's all I'm going to do on it. That's literally it though, as in, there's a few, I should have mentioned actually where to practice. So Forest. Forest is a great place to practice simply because it's so forgiving. So you can just kind of practice your turns and stuff. But for actual speedrunning, I'm going to recommend, and I'll come back to it in a minute. We'll say you can go this way, and then you can explore different routes. So for instance, if I dash left straight away, I hit that wall, and it's actually quite a good route. Easy to execute. If I dash here, I can do it with a turn. And I can just go along the straight route as I demonstrated earlier. Now there's not much imagination in that one. This one, that Superdash I mentioned earlier, is quite practical. I messed up the first jump anyway, so that's not going to be a good time. But it will be a while before you can beat that. Unless, of course, you're used to playing Naija, but just to demonstrate. Now, once you've done Forest, because it's actually quite hard to perfect the runs in Forest, you can get them, but the easier runs to get very good, impressive times on, I think, are Light Hell. Light Hell is essentially set up to be Naija's playground, in my opinion. So you can just literally dash everywhere. You never have to slow down. And if you look at some of the videos, I'll link some of the top runners in the description. You can see a lot of people do a lot of hell running because it is literally set up for Naija. So if you have questions, put them in the comment box and I will get back to you, because to be honest, it's a very rough tutorial, but I'm not going to even try to put production and value on stuff. I'm quite pathetic at it. So good